What's up, world? It's T Davis. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss a single episode of On the Top Coat. That button right there. Come for the nails while we talk a little bit. So what I heard is that you just said that Chris Brown is better than Usher. That's what you just said? I heard that right? Did I hear that right, Cory?
Allegedly.
Okay. That's what I heard?
I mean, it's not, it's a fair question.
Okay.
They want to know.
It's a fair question.
They want to know.
Is Chris Brown better than Usher?
So he is
because
better
he came. Okay, so are you asking that because of when we're talking about like streams and social media?
Well, no, because Chris Brown had the benefit of coming in an era where streams wasn't a thing. Chris Brown came out in 2005. That's 20 years ago.
Yes.
Ooh, time flies.
That's 20 years ago.
I will say the game changed after
If
album sales stopped hitting.
If we're being honest, he came in 2005. So I mean I thought I heard you say that. That's why I'm just asking for clarification.
Okay.
I thought I heard you say Chris Brown is better than Usher. I just want to know if that's really how you feel.
Okay. Okay, I know more Chris Brown songs than I do Usher songs.
Is it because Chris Brown has more songs?
No, I think it's just more so.
You saying his songs are better than Usher songs? I think that's what you're alluding to. Is that what you're saying right now?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, all right. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Usher has classics.
But
yes,
I feel like I hear that. Okay.
Usher has classics. See, this is why it's tough, because at a certain point it comes down to like the individual, right? So I grew up super duper religious. We didn't have we didn't have cable. We didn't have, if you wanted entertainment, read a book.
Right.
I was at church like 3 times a week.
Okay.
So Usher, I wasn't really hearing when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Brown, if I like spent the night at someone's house, now we're talking about ringtones and stuff like that. It was typically Chris Brown because of my age, right? It wasn't really. Usher was more so like my aunt and them. Like it was considered grown folk, a little bit grown folk music. So it's like, yes, I grew to like and love some of Usher's songs a little bit later, but Chris Brown was more so
your era.
Yeah.
Okay. So you saying he is better than Usher?
Saying that Usher, I'm being blackmailed.
No,
you see,
no.
You see, he literally has my hands hostage. Okay.
No, is okay. If you have one ticket, use a winning ticket, front row, backstage, meet and greet, everything, and they say you can only pick one, Usher or Chris Brown. What concert you going to?
I'm gonna resell the ticket.
That's the most New York answer I've heard on the show. I'm going to resell.
It's too much stress. Sounds like, but no. All right. If I had to, I would go to Chris Brown.
I think that answers.
But his Usher's concerts have been going so crazy that I'm like, dang. But I would still go to Chris Brown's.
And he's giving free pictures. I mean, well, he's giving not free pictures, but he's taking pictures
for $1,000.
Right? Huh?
For $1,000.
But you got the meet and greet pass though.
But your ticket includes
You're right.
That.
He's right.
Your ticket come with that. So you saying you going to see C Breezy?
Yeah.
And you're not going to see Usher?
No.
You're not going to see.
Well, Usher ain't giving photos.
That's true. He's giving a whole show, cherries and everything included.
I mean, well, doesn't the picture exist in your mind first? Huh? Is it the root word of imagination, image? Don't that got to be here first? You see what I'm trying to? Usher, we here. I see what you're doing. You ain't with the flashiness, so I'm here.
I said he's gaslighting you.
Know what I'm saying?
He sat here and said that Chris Brown is better than you.
I ain't say that.
In every way he could say.
I ain't say that.
And then tried to make you believe that he did not say that.
I just asked a question.
Just rewind the footage.
Okay. I will say this. Usher had the higher R&B moment. I don't think anybody at that time would have ever thought. I can't say ever would have thought. Confessions was groundbreaking.
Allegedly.
But see, it goes back to what you meant. It is sometimes about time.
Yeah,
you can't take away like culture at that time.
Yeah, his that Confessions was a heavy hitter. That's probably like one of the top 10 R&B male albums, right? Chris Brown never had that.
In terms of a full album, like
right.
album, okay.
However, he had everything else. Yeah. I mean, he did. Yeah. I mean, there isn't, and Chris Brown has been out for what, 2 decades? Mm-hmm. 2.5 decades? There isn't in any one of those eras, because the era is 10 years, so it's 2. There isn't a point at any one of those eras that Chris Brown wasn't the number 1 R&B artist, right?
But then, why does he have more accolades than Usher?
I don't know.
Because I think that's like a thing, but like he continuously doesn't get, and then like some of his projects will be like 28 to 32 songs. It's like,
yeah, he definitely set himself apart, but I do see where,
yeah, I get. Yeah.
Usher was the Confessions was the thing. Confessions was the whole too many days, so many, I'm still burning to you. Yeah, that was the whole thing. But Chris Brown, you turn on every news station. Every commercial. I remember this. I was in middle school. I stayed home from school one day. And you remember Nick Jr.? They used to show the reruns of like Moesha and all that stuff.
Remember.
I know. I just follow me. You know what I'm saying? Just you with me. You here, right?
Okay.
Every commercial. It was a marathon, by the way. Mm-hmm. It was a Moesha marathon. They were playing Moesha from 8 a.m. to I think 4.
Okay.
Every commercial, literally, that came on between the episodes, after the episodes, was Chris Brown Forever. It was all day long. We'll be right back with another episode of Moesha.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It was all the time. So I think he had the benefit of that. And he also, like I said, he was able to withstand the changes in music. Because music changed.
Again, you now touched on timing, on commercial availability, on now sponsorship availability. It's different than it was when Usher was first coming out. It's always, the times are always going to change a little bit. Do
you think it benefits the current artist more?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Well,
do you go ahead, go for it, Cory?
Because now we got it's a strong debate, because I feel like that's what's being said is like what's being used against like Drake, and it's something that's actually happened to Jay-Z, but people don't speak on it, which is Drake always been like one of the top artists, but they always said that he never had a classic album.
Okay.
And that's Take Care. Always, I don't know, because
that's a good argument. That Take Care was that was high school. That was
And the thing with Jay-Z is Jay-Z is probably top 5 best rappers of all time,
if not the greatest.
And then they always say, well, what era was he the top rapper though? Because there was always somebody else that was number 1 when his albums dropped.
Okay.
So that comes right back to like Chris Brown, which is like, yeah, you the man, but you never.
Right.
Do you have that classic album and such? And it's like you said.
He has so many classic songs, right?
Chris Brown, it's debatable, but we also know there was what we don't want to speak about. The big scandal that put a dark cloud over his brand,
right?
And had it not been for that, the sky would have been the limit. And he still strived despite that.
Which that's very telling because at that time and being that publicized, I don't think a lot of artists would have been able to bounce back from that night. Like I said, I'm not no singer or nothing, but for him to be on that level and for something like that to happen, and then you see where he is now, it's kind of like it always begs the question is if that didn't happen to him, right? Keron said no. I said yes. Would Chris Brown have been better than Michael Jackson? Like just overall clear?
No.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. Because again, I think that it's a confusion of what we're seeing now due to
What's in front of us?
Yeah, due to time. We don't know what Michael Jackson could have been able to produce with the same techniques, the same engineering, the same new mechanics and stuff that they have now.
He is the standard, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is the standard.
So,
nobody, I think
we're talking about someone who had the ear to, he had the ear to do like a whole track of only his vocals. And it was like 7 different layering of him just doing the outline, different harmonies, different pitches, and different like breakdowns of the beat.
I remember that album. I produced it. I did. I'm gonna put that on the episode one day. Y'all just you laughing. You think I'm lying? You see, y'all just no faith. Crazy. Corey, you believe me, right?
It's about the age that's throwing me off.
You believe me, right, Corey?
I believe.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly.
That's right.
Wait.
You better ride for your friend. We ride at dawn, friend. But yeah, to someone who at that time had the eye and the ear to do that.
Okay.
Would come on. He opened doors to for Chris Brown's ear to develop.
I think no. Like I said, it is something to consider, but I do think this. I think Michael Jackson open and closed doors that no one else can open anymore. I don't think you will get another artist ever that will get the most money per album sold. So for people who don't know, when Thriller came out, Thriller was selling so many records that traditionally an artist gets, I think, 75 cents an album. He was getting $2.50 per album sold. Wow. Right? And mind you, that's probably the only album to go #1 in every major country ever. Sold 40 million units or something like that. Okay. Or more. Do I think an artist will be able to do that now? Absolutely not. Do I think they'll be able to do it in the future? Absolutely not. I think, and like you said, timing is a thing. Back then, to be a celebrity really meant to be a celebrity. Like to see Michael Jackson, you had to go to a concert, turn on the TV, MTV. Mind you, that was probably the only major music, outlet syndication out there for artists. He was the creme de la creme, the denouement. That was him. To see him, watch him in concert, hear him on the radio.
Now imagine all the exposure that we have now. Yeah. TikTok, Threads, Instagram, TMZ, all of those things available at that time when he came out. He was already the most amount. So imagine all of those things. What everyone's pushing right now, these numbers that we find in pricing and stuff like that, they wouldn't even come close if they had the technology at that time.
They did that with albums, like physical. People went to the store and bought these. I think, it's like I said, it was an interesting thing. Like I said, I think Chris could have did it. But he says it himself though. He doesn't think that he's people say it to him, but he doesn't think that he's.
Yeah, he said it again recently that he stopped being offended by it because he has to understand why they're saying it it's a compliment, but it's also do you understand what it takes away really from the timing of it. Do you understand the work that people had to put in that era to be seen, to be heard, to even make that level of. We have so many things now. It's auto-tune, it's this and that. There's so many things that didn't exist at that time that people don't take to when they're listening to the songs to be I wonder what they used to create that sound. I wonder what they used or how long it took them to mix and master it. And it kind of like waters down the experience that the people before us had.
Yeah, back then when we used to be in the studio, it wasn't none of this computer stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't none of that.
It wasn't.
It was, you really had to do your thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yep, you had to be talented.
Yeah, I mean, you did. Because, you know, me, Quincy, and Mike, he didn't really like the Thriller thing. He didn't really like it. So, you know, he just, you know, I mean, you just had to be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much about it.
No, yeah.
Right, you know. Yeah,
and friends, I'm here to, Trevor's here to tell you guys, the Lulu can be the Salulu. just follow your heart.
I just think I'm just telling my reality. I just think that's just what it is. You know.
What was it you said before? In imagination, the first word is
image. Like, no, well, yeah, but you know, if you got a picture that's signed on the back of it, it's not really, you know, make believe. But we'll talk about it. Don't worry. We'll talk about it. Yeah. But I do think you're right. Timing is everything. So that's what scared for a second. Do you see what's